That's it, hit 40, so we're unlocked and we're ready to ride. Mardi Gras! The tree still has bees from Mardi Gras. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I don't think I should go any further. Oh, damn it. Today we're going to be riding the Nova 3, and I'm super excited because this is my first mid-drive motor bike, and it has a lot more power and features packed into it than I thought for being a budget-friendly mid-drive motor bike. This bike you can pick up right now on the company's website for $17.99, so under $2,000. That's cheaper than the X2 and the X2 Pro. Now, it is a mid-drive motor, but it comes on more of a full bike platform because it has the 17-inch wheels. So let's go ahead and take it for a spin. So before I begin this ride, I have to take it out of street mode. We want to put it in off-road mode. So I wanted to show that real quick. All you do is turn your bike completely off, let it shut down, let the power go out and everything. Then you're going to hold the brake down and don't let go until this process is finished. Turn the battery back on, turn the bike back on. Now we're going to wait. We're going to wait 40 seconds and you're going to let go. Once you let go, it should be unlocked to go 40. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck on 28 miles an hour. That's it. Hit 40, so we're unlocked and we're ready to ride. One thing I want to first say about this bike is you could feel the pep. Like it wants to go more than the X2 Pro. So it's similar to the X2 original, as in the takeoff and kind of that torque that it has. So it really wants to take off at about that. So anybody that like the X2 Pro, this one's going to have that really torquey kind of pep to take off to it. Now it is louder if you're used to riding the pedal bikes like I am. All the other bikes I have, they have pedals, and that hub motor is way quieter than this mid-drive motor. While I'm talking about speed, the other thing is I've noticed whether you're in the regular street mode or city mode, going to that 28 miles an hour, it gets there super fast. So there's almost no restriction to that 28. And then when you turn it to the 40, the same thing. It has that jump off the line that it's not holding back. So if you stopped at a red light, stop sign, you're gonna get a good takeoff and get away from that stop faster. The Nova 3 is powered by a 60 volt, 25 amp hour battery, and the motor is actually a 1,000 watt mid-drive motor, but it has a peak wattage of 3,000 watts. And it has an amazing torque because of the gear reduction. So it's a 10-to-1 reduction. You have a belt on one side and has a chain on this side, which has a lot of torque for a 1,000 watt motor. But if you wanted to change it to have more top end, I think it'd be easy like a dirt bike. We just change out the sprockets. It is super hot right now. I'm trying to find every piece of shade I can. This helmet is getting super hot. If anybody has suggestions on a helmet that has more airflow, please drop it in the comments and help me out, because this summer is going to be brutal. So I will say this isn't my first ride on the bike. I have 42 miles on it total. And that's because I really want to test, get some wheels on the pavement and really feel what the bike's like after breaking it in and checking a few things, which always check your bolts after you do like your first 10 miles. I'll show you what happened to my motor mount.
That bolt right there, that 6mm engine bolt right there, is coming loose. So it's supposed to look like that.
So any bike you build, like, it comes from the factory mostly assembled. Like no bike I've assembled is 85% assembled. So you always want to check over every bolt. And also I had one of my brake bolts come loose, this one, and I had to tie it. So, double check everything after you ride for, 10 or so miles. Man, this bike is so much fun. Being this lower to the ground makes it a lot easier whenever you stop for a lot more riders to be able to put their feet down and, touch the ground. If it had pedals, I think it would actually hit the ground. I don't know how you would put pedals on it, but I think it would end up hitting the ground. While we're on the subject of pegs, I did want to say these foot platforms, they're not bad, they work. It's nice that it's wide because it really holds your foot, but they are quite slippery. And I have some pegs coming in, but I have a feeling that the bolt holes won't line up. So I might have to add some. So it's nice that this plate is big. So I have some coming that we're gonna try out and see, but I'm not sure how it's gonna work. On this side's fine, but on this side, you have the motor guard is right here. So we'll have to see, but I do have some coming that we're gonna switch it out to and see how it fits. The handlebars are set up quite like the X2 Pro, where you have the same light, turn signal, horn, dual hydraulic brakes, and you have the half twist throttle. Now I know I'm gonna get questions about the throttle and brakes. The rear brake is on the right, and this is DOT fluid, DOT 4 or 5.1. I have some of that fluid, so what I'm gonna do is, instead of flipping the bars over, which with this reservoir, it's gonna be pretty hard to keep bubbles out of it, I'm gonna actually remove the brake lines and just swap the brake lines. So I might lose a little bit of fluid, but it's not a big deal. I'm gonna swap them out and then just refill it here and bleed the brakes out. I'll have a video on that coming up probably in a couple days. Also, the throttle, half twist throttle, is gonna be changed out to a full twist, and I made a quick video on that. I temporarily hooked up my X2 Pro to the Nova 3. Now this is something that I've never done before, so it's gonna be trial and error. I don't even know if I'll do it the right way, but we're gonna give it a good go. And I'm gonna probably do that. It'll be in the next video. I'll probably release it in a couple days. But we're gonna swap these lines out. That way rear will be on the left, front will be on the right. And while we're on the subject of brakes, these are a little bit more beefy. They're kind of the brakes similar to the X2 original. The disc and calipers are a lot beefier than any of the other models. They have a 220 millimeter on the front and a 205 on the rear. But this caliper is supposed to be a 2-piston caliper. But if you look on this side, there's nothing pushing from this side. So I feel like this is really just a single piston brake, but it is super beefy and I've had no problem stopping. Whoa, look at this sidewalk. One of the main things I adjusted after my first ride was, if you see there's a tie wrap here. Well, I took off the tool bag just because I didn't need it. But the tie wrap right here is holding this connection point. Let me stop since we're in the shade right here. So this connection point right here that goes down to the controller, which it does have a 4-driver controller like the X2 and X2 Pro. But this connection point kind of hangs right here. And so if you notice, when I turn, it would actually pinch it right here. So I've zip tied the wires kind of up a little bit, and that keeps it out of the way so I have my full turning radius. I'm currently working on wheelies with the X2 Pro. I feel more confident having the rear brake on the right, but you can get this bike up in the air. The half twist throttle makes it a little hard because you end up grabbing this side and it stops you from really turning. But it will come up. So as soon as I switch them, we'll start practicing wheelies on this bike. So I really didn't have a plan on where I was going. I think we're gonna head down to Beaver Park and let's do a top speed right here, see if we have enough space. .7. Woo! All right, so it's definitely fast, and that's out the box putting it in off-road mode. Look at these guys, they're magnet fishing. I've never seen this in Lafayette. Caught anything good?
Oh, dude, we're doing a little work. Water sample, yep.
Oh, I thought you were magnet fishing.
Oh, man, I wish I would. That'll be a good spot.
You might catch some good stuff off this bridge.
Oh, yeah, man.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
I thought they were magnet fishing, but they are doing water samples. So they probably work for the city. Or, oh, it's probably an independent company. Yeah. Nope. DEQ. Oh, overshoot the sidewalk. It's a bummer. It did rain yesterday, so a lot of the hills I had planned on climbing are grass around here, just to show how well this climbs, like at a low speed. It lets you just, like, it cruises up hills. I might go do one later. I just didn't want to get, you know, real dirty or full of mud. But this thing really powers up hills, barely twisting the throttle. You might recognize this ride under the Evangeline Thruway, and oh man, the mud. So I did this on my Move Cam, one of my first bikes I started riding on. Oh, again, try not to get super muddy. The little fenders on here, they catch some stuff, but it's not the best. They could be a little bigger. Test out those brakes. Whoa! All right, so the brakes definitely are strong enough to lock up those tires. Watch the front brake. So the front actually slid on that one, but the back locks up really well. So I was skeptical of those brakes, but they have some great stopping power. The grass isn't too bad. It still does have a good amount of grip, but they definitely shine more on the pavement or hard surfaces. This isn't the best place to stop, but check this out. This is a crazy incline, and I just wanted to show the torque on this bike. So if you watch it climb up, barely throttling, and it's climbing straight up this hill. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I don't think I should go any further, but I have a feeling that I could get to the top. If I had my gear on, maybe I'd attempt going all the way up. But you can see I'm barely turning the throttle, and it's climbing straight up this bank. Yeah, I think I would need some gear maybe to do that, or at least somebody with me, because that's a steep fall. But as you can see, like, I was barely turning the throttle, and it was just climbing that wall. Couldn't do that with my hub motor. Top speed. So I was going uphill, and I still reached top speed. This bike is definitely impressive, and even with the sound of the mid-drive motor, if it's something you're not used to, it's definitely still loads of fun. So I did want to say something about talking about motor noise and all that stuff. The chain guard here, I wish it was a little higher or kind of flared, because the chain being tight, I mean, it's a little loose now from me breaking it in, but it hits right here, and it's kind of making a clink noise. So if you hear it in the video, a little ping noise, that's what it is. Mardi Gras! The tree still has bees from Mardi Gras. I haven't talked about suspension, and out the box, that's one of the things I might change. You can see it's got a good travel, and as I'm riding, it's just really, it is comfortable, but I think that the front suspension definitely could be beefed up a little bit. The overall ride is like really nice, even though the suspension might be a little soft in the front. It doesn't have any adjustments, but like, it's really soft. The seat, they've changed the seat since the Pro and the original. It is a little bit thicker and has a little bit of a different shape, but it does ride really nice. I know there's gonna be some questions about the battery pack. So the battery pack is on a rail, and it slides up and off. It does wiggle. So I have concerns about the overall ride over time, that will that bracket hold, because as far as my knowledge, that's a plastic bracket. So we'll have to see kind of over time, test that out. But it does wiggle a little bit, so I might put a couple pieces of foam on the edge or something to keep it more stable. Since I'm in the parking towel, I might as well go over the display to make it a little easier. So you have your mode button, which changes in between modes, your total mileage, trip mileage, the voltage left, which is what I keep it on. I don't go by the battery bars anymore. I really go by voltage left on the bike. And then your time riding. So it kind of goes through those. This is your power setting. So if you crank it down to 0, nothing will happen. 1 will go, I think, 10 miles an hour, and so on as you go up. You can get into advanced settings by pressing the plus and minus. It'll open up the advanced settings, and to get out, you hold it down one more time. Now this doesn't show current, but this little bar here, as I twist the throttle, that's where you're like current. So it says power, but that is your, or power spot for this. This is your current right here. So this is the amount you're twisting the throttle, amount it's sending to the bike. So this is the end of our video. Thanks for watching to the end. It is super hot out here. I got to get out of the sun. But I hope I answered all the questions you had about the Nova 3. If I didn't, put it in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. This bike is a great design. I like the ride. I like the feel of it. I think Freego did a great job on a budget mid-drive motorbike being under $2,000. And I can't wait to ride it more. So until next time, turn off your device and head out on a ride. damn it. Man, dang. That's gone. Okay, well, now we know how it handles a crash. I don't know if my bars are bent or twisted. Man, that's gonna, shoot. Oh, well, that's definitely a more interesting ending.